Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another test video, this time in a 2004 Dodge Ram 2500 coming from Arkansas. Corey, this is your computer. So he sent his computer first with just a note that you're going to see in a second that said, will not connect with truck or scanner, no bus. That was all the notes that I have, and I'm like, as I normally do, I go and first do a visual inspection, and I noticed that the module looked like it was already pre-opened. As you see, I have some already in the screen, which is the oscilloscope. So we will be seeing the signal for communication because the module is testing good. So the module is testing good, and I'm investing all this time in checking it out, and then I'm like, well, something is not right. So luckily by me, he called me right almost in when I was about to start recording the video. And then I get to learn more of the story behind the actual module. So and why it was almost fully open, which I'm going to show you how it looks. All right, so let me move this over here. Another screen. And yeah, but okay, so as you see, I have the computer connected in there, which yeah, I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, it's okay. And then I'm going to move you over to the screen. All right, another thing that if you're here, please subscribe to the channel. That really help my small business and also grow the audience that can, watch my videos. When you subscribe, which is for free, that will really help me because YouTube will promote more and more my videos, and that is at the end helping my small business here in Virginia. So thank you so much for that. All right, so if you have any computers that you need to send for repairs, here is my website, Mike Salazar Diagnostics. Yeah, that's my name. It spells M-A-I-C and sounds as Mike. Salazar Diagnostics. In there, you have two forms to fill, two boxes to click. The white one is for you to download a form, fill it, and then sign it, add it in a box with the module, all modules, and then send it to me. The other box, the black one, is the email. So you click in there and you can send me an email. Pretty easy, right? All right, so just a short commercial, let's say. I have images that I want to show you. So this is the way the module showed up in the note that Corey gave me. So you can see what I read. But then I'm going to then tell you what actually I find out later. So the first thing that I noticed was right here. So right here on this bolts, big screwdriver marks in there. And I'm like, And then as soon as I remove the bolts, kind of like the whole computer opened up, which is, okay, so I don't like to work in computers that have been previously attempted to repairs, at least without warnings. Please let me know if something like that happened, because then I am more careful to see, and we can discuss different, because yes, if I am your last resource and you're having problems with something, please let me know, So I opened up the computer without knowing what was happening. I couldn't see anything, at least obvious, that will tell me that is anything wrong. I call him. I think I recorded a short video or something. Not sure if I already uploaded. And I said, I cannot find anything wrong. So, but I took all these pictures on my testings that I normally do for my records and the customer records. This is me communicating. This is the big number of the vehicle, which in the notes, if you go back, is 72718. And that is exactly what we have right here on the bottom. I can zoom so you can see the big number right there better, 72718. Not only that, the reason I'm here is because the scanner can read battery voltage, and I was in that time changing the all right, I move that box out of the way so we can see better, because I want to show you more information as we go along before doing the test, right? So this is with the computer connected, and then we have the fiber reference, which is the normal test that I perform in this computer. So the rest that I want to show you is here, connections first. For this computer to communicate, we have, in order to talk to the scanner, we have pin 16 and 19, which is called the SCI transmit. And then also the computer has the PCI bus and pin 28. They all go over to the DLC, again, the OVD connector, right? The SCI bus is pin 7 and 12. That's the way the computer talks to the scanner. And then also it has the what they call PCI bus, right? So the PCI bus is the way this computer talks also with the instrument cluster, with the scheme module, and so the computer can let the car to start, or let's say the other way around. The scheme will allow the car to start. And I want to read the description. So I also have these schematics, which the other one was a little blurry, but we can see here, right where I'm moving that box, the J1850, that's how they call, which is in pin 2 on the DLC. And then we have the SCI transmit and receive on pins 7 and 12 on the DLC, just to confirm everything that I just described. We also have the connectors on the computers and everything that is connected to that computer. This is a nice schematic. Powers and grounds. I was always, because let me just also update you with what he said. He said he contacted another, he connected another ECM that he said that he programmed the bean and the vehicle run. But the other computer is a manual transmission, not an automatic transmission. So it is a little bit of a thing that could be taking the computer down and not let it talk. Because yes, when you have a manual transmission, all you need is the clutch and let's say, the neutral switch. When you have an automatic transmission module like this one, this computer is also in charge of solenoids and transmission relays and some other things that if any of that is shorted, it can be shorted the module itself and not let it talk. So this is things that they're going to have to check in the car. So Corey, he also said that he sent these to another facility and they tested as good. Again, all these I find out after I perform my test in here, which this is the second test, so you understand what I'm saying after I perform my test, because I already did the test and you can see the pictures in there. But yeah, so this is just a note. The next thing that I wanted to say here is I was looking on the schematics and all the wire diagrams, and everything is very basic. We have 3 constant battery powers on 20, 30, and 40. As you can see, there's just the same wire that goes into 3 different pins in the computer, which are the same pins inside. The reason they do that is because this is a thick wire that will go into 3. Because, this computer provides powers and grounds, as you can see here, right here for the injectors, and these are heavy loads. So that's why that computer needs to have very strong wiring. The next thing that I check, and it has to be very strong too, is the grounds, right? So we need to make sure that the grounds are good, which is in here, pin 49, 50, and pin 21. They're all good. And then one ignition, which is coming directly from the ignition switch. So you can see right here where it says run start, and it connects in here, and pin 32. That's it. There is no relays. The computer does not control any relay. Like usually on the gasoline computers, the computer is connected to a constant battery power, and as soon as that computer is powered up, it will turn on or control a relay to provide power to terminal 87, which sometimes it feeds back the computer. And I was looking for this or for that in here. I couldn't see it. It's nothing like that for this computer. All right, so the next thing that I wanted to, or I went and also want to share the information with you, is the vehicle theft security system. So it says that I'm just going to briefly set in here is that you need to use the DRB3, which is the original Chrysler tool, to see the activity in between the PCI bus. And so it says the vehicle theft system, BTSS, Centric Key Immobilizer System, SKIS, and the Programmable Communication Interface, PCI, the PCI bus. Remember, that goes over to pin 2 on the DLC, goes into the computer, goes into the instrument cluster, goes into the scheme module. And so this is all sending messages to allow the vehicle to start and to talk in between those modules on that bus, specifically that bus. So let me see. PCI bus network should be diagnosed using, well, I guess we don't really need that. We can use an oscilloscope and we can do that here, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Will allow confirmation of the PCI bus functional that the centric key immobilizer module scheme is placing the proper message, and that is the only thing we cannot do here to know, because no matter what, I don't have it. But if the car is started with another computer, we can disregard all that because the scheme is good, the message is good. something else is shorting this computer and it's taking it down. The only thing that I don't understand is because he said he cannot talk to the instrument cluster. So I will disconnect the computer to see if you can talk to the rest, because you should. Let me see, placing proper messages in the PCI bus and the powertrain, and that the powertrain control module and the instrument cluster are receiving the PCI bus message. So the next one, this is where I also want to read right here. The scheme and the PCM both use software that includes a rolling code algorithm strategy, which helps to reduce the possibility of unauthorized skis disarming. The rolling code algorithm ensures security by preventing an override skis through the unauthorized substitution of the scheme or the PCM. However, the use of this strategy also means that the replacement of either PCM or the scheme units will require an initialization procedure to restore the system operation. Big number. But yeah, you can see all, and you can read. I can leave that in here. So the bin also right here, the scheme also stored in its memory the vehicle identification number, the bin, which is learned through the PCI bus message from the PCM. So this is how it just allows the car to start. It checks for the VIN number. So that is the PCM has to share that VIN number, otherwise the car will not start. So definitely this is mostly his problem, right? So let me take you over back to this capture. Give me just 1 second so I can have that differently in here, so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to put the picoscope on the screen right here. Okay, so and it's not running yet. So I can make that bigger. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I put the rest of the lines so you can see what the values or any changes that I'm going to do. So right now the picoscope is not running. The computer is completely powered up. I'm going to run the values. So as you can see, it's now connected, looking for the oscilloscope. It's going to, try to select the correct settings, and it's now running. So with nothing connected, we have, I also added a description on the bottom, but I'm going to tell you. So the blue channel is connected to the DLC7. The red channel is connected to DLC12, and the green channel is connected to DLC2, the PCI bus. So as you can see here, so this is live, and I also want to show you, because that's off a camera, that I have nothing connected. That wire that I have in there is to connect to the top-down BCI, and it's not connected now. So that signal that you see on the green channel is coming from the computer itself. So I'm going to move the trigger down so we can keep those images at least from walking too much, because it's definitely the computer is now like, hello, somebody there, somebody there, somebody there, but it is nothing in there. But there is a threshold that these signals should reach, which is around 7.5 volts and 0 volts, right? So, and we can see that in here, it is pretty good. I can, because sometimes it's very hard to read that from there, I can add a measurement on minimum or maximum on the A channel. And that is the maximum channel C, sorry. Yeah. And then we can put a minimum, which is right here. And make sure that we select the green channel. So this is the only one that we have right now. So now you can read what I put in the cursors. And actually, I don't need the cursors now, because that will read the entire waveform. And then if I run it, those values are staying pretty good. So we have 100 millivolts, so almost pulled down to ground, and then 7.32, so it's almost 7.5. So that signal is perfect. So there's nothing wrong with this computer on the PCI bus. So I don't really get where or how the car will not start. So the next thing we need to do now is to connect the scanner. I put the PCI button in the MBCI from top down, so you can see it's not only is powering that on, it's not connected. I got to get the scanner. So many different things in here. Let me get the top down in the screen so you can see what I connect. All right, we got the top down in there. Let me just get closer so I can start doing this by hand and I don't need to click on the screen. So we have the scanner connected, but not to the computer yet. So it's on, let's say, it's not connected. So I'm going to go over to scan. When this module is off of the car, I have to do manually selection, and that is just the way it is here. So dodge, I'm going to click on OK. And I will tell you, Kari, try to establish it this way. See if you, because you might be trying to do an automatic ID, try to do a manual selection and see if that works. All right, so we're going to click on Dodge. This is a 2004. And as you see right now, we haven't even read the bin. So on the bottom of the scanner view, you see it says only Dodge 2004 bin 10. That is because we have not entered yet. So we're going to click on Ram truck. So far, no bin yet. We're going to click on the PCM. And that is, as soon as we enter here, this is going to start establishing the communication in between the two. And now we can see signals on the red and on the blue channel on the oscilloscope, which I'm going to do a little change in the line so you can see that better. But let's hold it for a second so you can see. In the meantime, this is establishing communication. Now we already have the bin right there, so the computer is talking and I get the correct bin. So this should be enough for that car to start. All right, you see now the red and the blue when dormant. Why? Because we just gathered the bin, but we're not doing any full code reading or data streams or anything. So it's just going to go there. But the PCI bus is completely active. Nothing is wrong with that. I'm going to change the line thickness. So let me go over to the system settings. I want to do the line trace so you can see that a little better on the screen, because otherwise they're too small. Maybe that is a little too big. Let me go over to 2. Oh yeah, I went to 5. That is kind of like too much. 2. Okay, 1, 3, or 5. So let's go. Let's do 3. And that you don't miss signals, because sometimes, and I noted that when I put the picoscope in the view, it doesn't show. All right, but we're going to go first into read full data. And these are the folds that we have in the history. It has also a Jade 1850, P1652. So it's definitely complaining because we have no order module connected. So it takes a little time to clear the full codes. Yeah, the P1652 is still there. So it's complaining because it's not getting the answer from the scheme module and from the order modules. But let's go over to data stream. Again, all that is in the PCI bus, which we know is active, and we can see the readings in there, right? 7.4, 186. So it is active. So now I'm just going to just select the battery voltage in here, and we're going immediately to see now changes onto the red and blue, now coming with activity. I'm going to change the battery voltage up and down. And we can see the activity is still going on in the order channel. So I can change the trigger to, let's say, channel A, which is the blue channel, and that will stop those other 2 signals from walking, because the other one is a little bigger, so we can see it happening. But as you see, the signals are there. And if I reduce the speed, which I'm capturing now 2 milliseconds per division now, I go into 1 millisecond per division, so we get less of images on the screen, but we can see more detail, right? That's why we don't really need that much, but we can see the signals are all there. So in order to talk to the scanner, this is good. So you're going to see, well, how you know that is good? Well, I have also saved waveform. So I'm going to pause this screen. We can also, because we got 20 windows, 20 waveforms saved. So I'm going to move you over to the screen because now we don't need to see that. All right, so we're here. I'm going to turn, just give me 1 second to turn those signals from here. All right, so now we're looking at this. I'm going to put this picoscope in here, and I'm going to open another picoscope. I have this is the signal that we have on the right side is on Pico Automotive. The one I'm opening right now is for the bench supply, or for the bench oscilloscope. I have saved those signals from a known good vehicle. So what I can do, the problem is I would not be able to. Let me see if I can do that here, and then picoscope. Yep, I switch it. So we have the ones with the letters at the bottom that says minimum right now. That's the only one you can see. Is Corey, and the one on the left is the known good waveform. So what I'm going to do is now set up rulers. So there is one setup right now that we can read the voltages on the PCI bus, and it's exactly the same thing, 7 to 180 millivolts. So the readings we have are pretty much the same. So no, I don't want to erase that. Let's move cursors into the blue channel. So it's a 5 volts to 200 millivolts. So let's do the same reading here. So 5 volts to 200 millivolts. So same thing. Let's read the red channel. So the red channel is working from, and again, I'm not going very precise, but that is not important. Half a 100 millivolts or so of difference is not going to make a difference. So the red channel is in 5 to same 250 millivolts or so. So we can do that same thing here. So we got the 5 volts, and we have the, got to get a little closer to see that. So it's around there. So yes, 5 to 200 millivolts. So both signals are, again, the right side is good compared to a known good. I just don't know what else to do here. We got communication with the scanner. We can read the VIN number. I don't know, Corey, what problems you have, but definitely is in the car. This computer is good. And I'm taking the extra time just because I always like to share this with my audience. This is actually more testing on the car than nothing else that needs to be done. So you need to either get an automatic transmission computer if you want to do that way and program the VIN and try that one and see if it starts, or start chasing what is short in the computer. What test you need to do is with the computer connected, right? Check for 5-volt reference, right? So that's the first thing that you always need to do when you have a problem with communication with any module. Is the module alive? So let's go over to the connectors and look for, in the connector with 50 pins, pin 23 and pin 24 is sensor 5-volt reference and sensor ground. Where you're going to put 2 needle or pierce the wires if you want to do that way, but make sure that you put seal those with electrical tape, or liquid electrical tape, so it's not going to be corrosion later on and destroying the harness. That is the first thing you need to check. You can go either right next to the computer, or you can go to one of the sensors, one of the cam sensors, the rail pressure sensor, and look for the 5-volt reference and the sensor ground in there. If you power on and you have no 5-volt reference, then start unplugging sensor at a time to see what is taking down that computer. If you run a manual transmission, I will not suspect a manual transmission module. I will not suspect this to be on the engine side. I will suspect this to be on the transmission side. Why? Because in the manual transmission, there is no automatic transmission. So something in there, if everything that you said is accurate, is only there, which then I will focus into that portion of the computer only, and not the engine part, right? That's what you need to do. And then check the same signals that I have shown you here with an oscilloscope. You don't really need to do much. You just put the PCI bus and the 2 signals, connect to a scanner if you want to, or the ignition on, and start unplugging things. When the signal comes in, you know that you found the problem. That's it. Nothing else to do, right? So, yep, I hope that you guys like the content, even though it's not a repair, but it's a good diagnosis. I just don't connect and say it's good and send it back to the customer. No, I take my time to show them why am I saying that it's good. If you have no communication, something has to be short in this computer, and it's not the same computer. So, all right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for visiting the channel. Thank you, Corey, for trusting in Mike Salazar Diagnostics. See you next time. Bye-bye.